Welcome to Edenic Gardens. This is our vision, this is our dream. Come along with us. Here we can see more of the grass coming in quite nicely in the early winter, thankfully. We are very grateful and blessed to make this beautiful and peaceful countryside our home. This is a quick aerial shot of part of the driveway, all gravel from the new entrance on the right side of the screen. It is a very long driveway around a steep hill, so it took a lot longer than anticipated, especially with the weather. With Thanksgiving just a couple days away, we are even more grateful for the exceptionally bountiful blessings we have received this year. What an exciting day to finally get the ground ready for the 1,000-gallon concrete septic tank that will serve for the RV and in the future the shop. As Bud and his team prepare the ground, we fueled the tractor from the 170-gallon diesel tank for the first time, and it fueled quicker than the gas station. At last, the long-awaited septic has arrived. Splendid was the day when we received the septic permits for the utilities, and building or compliance permit relied on it to proceed. Besides digging for the tank, which had to be leveled to pass inspection, they also had to dig a hole for the field lines, 110 feet zigzag lines, 10 feet apart and leveled as well. Fortunately, the ground was dry enough. It was very interesting watching the tank being lowered into the ground. It reminded us of a funeral, to which I asked Bud if he was the priest conducting the service. For this process, they had to dig according to the dimensions of the tank, put a little gravel down first, then lay the pipes, then gravel on top, then line it with a roll of paper. The septic tank for the shop was installed on the eve of Thanksgiving, giving us much more to be grateful for. It was thrilling to see the house site cleared upon arriving this morning. It is still hard to believe what is happening. It is actually happening. This is the location of our dream home. It's remarkable. We used a measuring wheel, wooden stakes, and string to mark the boundaries of the house, back patio, and pool. It's bittersweet to see the trees go down. However, we intend to plant some trees once we have all the details of the house and landscape figured out. We had not realized how large this area would be once cleared. It is nice to see the reality and not have to imagine it any longer. The views from up here are amazing and will look more stunning once the house is built, since we will be even higher considering the foundation and such. The one thing that we are not looking forward to so much is the amount of cleanup we will be doing for quite some time from all the land clearing. We needed to decide the orientation of the house and which direction the walkout basement would face, and how deep we plan to dig for the basement in order for the excavator to know where and how far to dig for the septic, considering that this one will need 550 feet of field lines. We have a blueprint that we are still modifying to fit our family's needs and wants. There are a lot of details to consider, and it can be very overwhelming at times. But fortunately, we have our go-to guide who always gives us the resources and information that we need, at least to send us on the right track. We really appreciate you, Phil, for all the help you've given us. What big roots! Soon we will need to go around with our grapple collecting all of the wood around the land. We will need to use chainsaws to cut them down to 12 feet and then smaller. Some will be used as firewood for the fireplace as well as the outdoor pit. Others we will have to put in a wood chipper in order to be able to clean up everything. It will take a good while. As you see here, we have 2 truckloads of gravel that are put in one pile to be used for the septic tank. Another huge moment. The hole for the 1,500-gallon septic for the house is being dug. Quite costly. We had to call around because the company that delivered the first tank needed 2 to 3 weeks to make another tank. We did find one company nearby that had one in stock, but cost considerably more. It took us a little while to figure out the best location for the septic tank. A laser level was used to take measurements factoring different details, such as the walkout basement with that side of the house being on a slope. The preference is flat ground, so we may still have to clear out some more trees to ensure there's adequate space for all the 550 feet of field lines. But as with everything, the most important thing is to pray for God's wisdom, not only for us, but for those working on our property to avoid as much mistakes and problems as possible. However, mistakes, obstacles, and delays are inevitable. We had a little concern about the truck getting to the site with the ground being very muddy. Our boots were getting sucked in at times. To facilitate the process, the excavator cleared the ground a bit with his bulldozer and was prepared to push him out if needed. Bud's excavating crew informed us that the septic job before us had worse conditions, and they had to push the septic truck in and out due to the immense mud. This tank weighs 15,000 pounds, and you can see the front tires on the truck in the air, and then the truck tilts to the right. Very interesting to watch. The driver is highly skilled, however, and never had it tip over, thankfully. We have been very blessed to have worked with really nice people thus far. Because of the ground condition, this is as far as we can go until it dries up. Let's see how long the weather will make us wait. But hey, at least we have gone this far by early winter, having begun in the middle of fall. Praise God, from whom all blessings flow. And they do flow. Finally caught the building permit guy in his office, and I barely missed him. Glad I called him when I did. Small town, small hours, I guess. He's only in twice a week and was leaving earlier than the scheduled hours this day. Indeed, much to be grateful for. We learned an interesting fact from our friend Phil, who shared with us that the septic tank, although heavy in concrete, can float if there's a lot of water outside. Another finally moment. Digging with the auger for the gate posts for the two entrances that are both on the same side of the road on the other side of our land. Regrettably, this auger gave us a lot of trouble with the pin constantly breaking. We had to run to Ace a couple times, ended up buying more than 10 pins. This delayed the task and caused us to do much of the 3 feet digging by hand. Many hands did make the work lighter, for the other that is. So thankful for those extra hands and backs. This auger we had bought from Tractor Supply instead of the dealer, so we're not sure if perhaps it's not the correct one or just built incorrectly. We were mistaken with measurements, so this task ended up taking us 2 days to dig and set up the poles, which we completed at the beginning of a severe thunderstorm in the dark, having to throw down the metal rods we were using when the lightning struck. There was one person holding 3 phone camera lights plus another camera light to see what we were doing. An immense gratitude to Aldina and 2 of her sons, as well as Seth and Jahida as always. We made it out without getting struck. Thanks for watching. Kindly subscribe if you haven't, and sharing is caring. If you enjoyed it, please like and leave a comment or 2. Next videos coming will be about internet and other utilities. Blessings till then.